break and did some gaming for the first time in a while.
What'd you play?
Titanfall 2.
Okay, I gotcha.
And wow, I am rusty with anything faster paced than Sniper Elite.
Yeah, I think you've heard me say before, like Skyrim is about as far as I go. I know
Uh-huh.
something's gonna
Yeah.
get me back into new games at some point, but
Yep.
I'm kind of just biding my time. I'm more of retro, always have been. The 16-bit era is where I really live most of the time. SNES and Sega
Uh-huh.
Genesis, and I actually never had a Sega Genesis, so emulation has been an adventure. You know,
Yeah, I'm sure.
being able to play some Genesis games. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so
Well, you said you weren't sure if anybody's jumping on. Uh, Debbie is planning on coming over and
mhm.
jumping on at some point in time.
Okay,
So
cool.
hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have some people.
Yeah, and I know a bunch of people said they might be able to make it and whatnot, and we'll see what happens. Hold on, audio, my audio is being weird. Hold on. Wait, no, it's not. There it is. Okay, it is going through. First time broadcasting on the M1. It's running so much smoother, and hopefully is going to be nice, crisp 1080p instead of the 720 I've been doing. So that's good.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
you're enjoying the Mac Mini?
I am. I am potentially going to be getting another PC from somebody soon as a gift.
Oh, cool.
And so if that ends up happening, I'm kind of torn between putting it in my setup again like I did previously, which I'm actually less inclined to do, and actually just upgrade the main computer out in the living room, but have a backup hard drive, like an 18 terabyte kind of thing,
Yeah.
sort of as what they call a DAS instead of a NAS. It's direct
Uh-huh.
attached storage.
Yeah.
Um, and basically just have stuff back up to that. So,
Okay. And
um,
have the DAS run by
the living room
the Mac
computer.
Mini.
No, run by the living room computer.
Oh, okay.
And basically have all our media on there, and have, I can sign in through TeamViewer on it to do basic stuff. But then if I really want to, eventually I could get like some kind of long video cable situation, KVM switch situation, where I could, turn it on in my office and game on it, even though it's out in the living room.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's harder to do than it should be, just because of the distance, even though it's not that far. It's just one of those things where HDMI is super finicky over anything over 25
Yep.
feet, basically, which,
Signal degradation gets to you.
yeah, and I could go, it gets expensive if you go the SDI route, but I would be more inclined to go HDMI to SDI to HDMI.
Uh-huh.
But that's expensive, so you know how it is. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I haven't talked to you in a minute. And I
No.
don't think I mentioned stuff about the bananas to you yet.
No, you have not. I've been eager to listen.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say because I literally did the same thing for 14 and a half hours on my feet, because it
Uh-huh.
was a double header instead of the 2 days, right? It was two
Uh-huh.
games in one. Um, and it was really fun, and it was a good experience. And um my supervisor was extremely happy with me, and I said, put in a good word for me. I do media professionally and stuff, and so we'll see if anything ever comes of it. But it was a lot of fun, and I definitely want to do it again in um if they when they come to Augusta. I have to do it again, for sure.
Uh-huh.
But the trying to make it a lucrative in other places is going to be rough. It's doable, but we'd have to do a lot more planning. So,
Yeah.
um, I will tell you one funny story. And this is definitely getting in the broadcast. This might be where I start it. Who knows? Um, the so the home team of this stadium is the Braves AAA team. So like
Oh, cool.
their minor league team, they're called the Gwinnett Stripers. they have like
Okay.
a bass fish as their mascot. Stripers is a kind of
Okay.
fish. Anyway,
Yeah.
and so I came in. Here's the weird thing. Their parking lot is not big enough for sold out type events. Okay.
Okay.
It's big, but it's not that big. And there's also the field, and this is becoming more common, is actually like tied into luxury apartments as well. So people
Okay.
can buy luxury apartments and go out on their back deck and watch baseball. Right?
Interesting. I would
Yes.
not have guessed that that would have been a thing,
Yes, it
but it
is.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And so basically because of the parking situation, um the way the and I assumed it was just the bananas do this kind of thing is they have a parking lot, a couple different parking lots with local businesses where you go and you park, and then they have the Atlanta school, not Atlanta, but like Gwinnett County school system actually does shuttle work for them as extra work and takes people to and from the stadium, right? In the school buses. So basically, with this situation, I knew that was what the bananas were doing because that's what I was directed to do via text, right? That go to this address, park, get on the bus, go to the stadium if you can't just get dropped off at the stadium.
Uh-huh.
And so basically I did that, but I didn't realize that the actual Striper employees were directed to do the same thing. And so I ended up following the crowd, going with the Stripers, going in, getting 2 Striper jerseys as part of my uniform. I was told I would be getting a jersey for my uniform, but I thought it was going to be bananas. And then the guy goes, "Who are you with?" And I'm like, her name's Mary. I'm supposed to come." And he's like, "Wait, she's with the bananas, isn't she?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so I ended up getting 2 free Striper jerseys and my free bananas jersey.
That's cool.
So even though the Striper jerseys are a little small for me, but they're okay. They're definitely, they still fit. But the second Striper jersey, I'm probably just gonna sell on eBay. I gave Casey the bananas
Yeah.
one because she wanted that one. But yeah, so and then we got 25% off merch for anything we wanted to purchase, and which is a good discount. And they were already
Uh-huh.
reasonably priced stuff, and so I ended up getting a shirt and a magnet for like 25 or something like that. And
Okay.
the kids are sharing the shirt, and we have the magnet on the fridge, whatever. And Casey got a jersey and I got a Stripers jersey. So that works out.
Very cool.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
I just thought that was really funny that both the bananas people and the Stripers people were using the same shuttle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, I'm moving over to the Mac.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
There we are. And ta-da! You can see me.
Yes, you look lovely. You look like you're in a thrift store.
No, this is my grandparents' dining room.
Yes, I love it.
So,
Very
yeah,
knick-knacky.
great. Yep, I am working on cleaning off the whatever we call this. We have a name for it. I can't remember it.
I'm gonna see if I can change the.
China cabinet. That's what it's called. It's called the China cabinet.
Let's see if I can
So,
change. No, it's not letting me mess with it. That's weird. I wish I could change my. Well, I might as well look here. See if I can change my settings at all on the video. It doesn't look like OBS has that ability on Mac.
mhm,
Yeah, I'm just gonna get what I get. That's the other problem. I gotta figure that out
mhm.
because I am
Can you
like
change it?
super weirdly red right now.
You're not showing up as red to me. You're actually showing up as a little bit on
Purplish.
the. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
like,
mean.
okay.
That's what I mean. I'm not sure how
Can
to.
you change it in?
I can turn
Like
that
the
down, but
FaceTime settings at all?
um, I'm not sure where to go for that. You got some ideas?
Is there a red FaceTime or a green FaceTime logo up in the control bar?
Um, I'm not signed into any of that, so I don't know that I would.
Oh, okay,
That's the thing.
okay.
So for now, I think
Because
that'll
for
do.
for mine, granted, I'm using an iPhone as a camera, so
Right, right. Of course, you're
like
gonna look way
I
better.
would
I get
assume that
that.
there's yeah,
Usually, what I would
but
do on Windows is go in, select the device on video capture, and then it gives me
mhm,
settings that I can go with to, you can click the advanced options and go into settings, but yeah, that's not coming up. So,
mhm.
um, but yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We'll just go with that tonight. Um, so tell me what's going on with y'all.
Oh, not much. I'm cleaning up the dining room right now because we're planning on having Debbie and her family over
Mm-hmm.
for Easter.
Fun, fun.
So that'll be fun. And I just found this, which is a nice little archaic piece of Apple tech. This is from a
Yes.
iPod Shuffle second generation.
Nice.
It's a USB A to headphone jack
Yep.
adapter because that was the only port on the Shuffle second gen.
Yep, I remember that. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff about that and their proprietary USB A female port that they had for a little while. Do you remember that?
Which Firewire?
No, they had it was a regular USB A port. It was like a charging dongle type thing. I don't remember what it for, but they literally just put a plastic notch in the bottom center of the connector. It's a female connector, right? For USB A, and they
Yeah,
just put a notch in it so only their cable could fit. But if you cut it out, it would work perfectly. It's literally just like a piece of plastic keeping you from doing.
yeah. That sounds like
As
Apple.
much as I give them crap for it, like that video you sent today, I'm like, yeah, no, just stop it. Leave them alone. Let them be obtuse. They'll deal with it in the marketplace.
Yeah, that the entire thing going on with the DOJ right ticks me off
Mm-hmm.
because they should not be doing that. Prosser is 100% right in that video that the product that Apple is selling is not the iPhone, it's not the Mac, it's not the Apple Watch, it's not Vision Pro. It's all of it working together. That's the product.
Mm-hmm.
And you are literally telling them, no, no, you can't sell that product. That's not a product you're allowed to sell.
Right. Right. Well,
And that's
I think they should.
monumentally stupid.
Right. I think they should be able to sell the product that they want, but the other half of that is, um, people should be able to do with all of the things that they do sell because that ecosystem doesn't end up on a receipt. I'm not saying they need to hack the ecosystem, but all of the other
Yeah.
things should be um not necessarily hackable, but like you shouldn't
Mhm.
punish someone for doing it. There shouldn't be these
Mhm.
they have overreaching terms of service is what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That if somebody wanted to hit them on that, then
Yes.
that's fine.
Yes. Yes.
But you're going to hit way more than Apple with overreaching terms of service.
Right. Yes.
And they don't seem like
Absolutely.
they're wanting to hit way more than Apple. It seems like they're focusing on Apple.
Right. They are. They are because they know that's where the money is. And they're
Hmm.
also, I think there's just a lot of China push in the background going on.
Maybe.
I think it's Asia in general. I don't think it's just China, but I think there's a lot of political push from Asia because Asia makes
Yeah.
all the other phones, you know?
Yeah. Flippin', I saw a Twitter thread on Huawei's headquarters
Oh,
or
yeah.
Huawei's R&D headquarters.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Beautiful, beautiful building.
Mm-hmm.
They effectively built like a German country town
Nice.
in the middle of China.
That's awesome. That's
Love
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
Complete with like a chateau and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
Huawei's a fun, weird little company that just got hit at the wrong time.
Well, I mean, they're not really a little company.
Well, you know what I
They're
mean.
literally the CCP.
Well, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of all of that. I'm just saying that as far as their products go,
Yeah,
they're they're I meant
they,
fun.
they were trying to jump into the American market at exactly the wrong time.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
That and their research, the actual research and stuff that they have done is I'm not convinced that there isn't a, let's put it this way. They're one of the only world governments that knows you actually have to make something fun in order to sell it to people before you get any information.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Interesting.
So just that alone means that
As
they
far as
actually,
governments,
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll go with governments. They're
Yes,
not the only company doing that, but
correct.
yeah.
Correct. But I'm saying that generally speaking, like they're one of the only governments that do something like that. And they
Mhm.
understand that. And as a result, they they're kind of, as far as I can tell, not just Huawei, but like a lot of the different branches of CCP related stuff when they're trying to break into American markets and do American market things. The thing that really hits is they are giving their artists a life of luxury and paying them
Mhm.
well and trying to keep all the terrible stuff that they're doing in the background away from the artists so that the artists
Uh-huh.
actually create something amazing and good.
Yeah.
Like as evil as they are and whatever else, like the fact is they're taking better care of their artists
Mhm.
than any of the other governments.
They're actually doing the whole patronage thing.
Right, exactly, because they realize the value in it now.
Yeah. Which is very interesting coming from the party that brought you such amazing hits as the one child policy.
Yeah, for real.
Like it's very interesting to see both of those things coexisting in the same governmental structure.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see here. Da-da-da. Wait, can you say something again?
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
You're coming in strong. I just need to put a limiter on you real quick.
Ah, got it.
That.
If you ask me to read something, or if you ask me to say something again, I'm going to read something out of this, the book that I just bought from Luke, called The Toaster's Handbook. It is a bunch of witty aphorisms on a bunch of different things.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I'm just going to keep this on hand.
Cool. Cool, cool. Yeah, I don't know what I'm reading, if anything, but we shall see.
Yeah,
I've been reading
I
so
have
many
still
things
not written
lately.
anything.
Were you supposed to write something specific?
I'm still technically supposed to finish The Tale of Rasia, my retelling of
Mm-hmm.
Ruth that I
Yes.
started a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah, dialogue. I'm not good at it.
You should write it in like thug speak and then have me take it and fix it.
Ooh, that'd be a good
That
idea.
way you can make it as silly as you want it and have fun with it. Be like, "Yo, baby,
Uh
what's the word?" You know, whatever. Like,
huh.
and just have fun with it, and then I can take it and actually make it good.
Yeah,
Have you ever
yeah.
have you
That would be
have you ever seen Thug Notes?
no.
Oh, Thug Notes is so
Oh
good.
no.
It's
Oh
it
no.
it was hey, you look it up, you can find it on YouTube. It was a series that was like it was some kind of, you know, one of these YouTube studio things that ended up getting bought up and I don't even know what channel
Uh
it's
huh.
on now, but it is still somewhere. But they had a guy who was playing this character named Sparky Sweets, and he was this, like, you know, typical crunk rap gangster type guy, but he would actually like walk you through Shakespeare in thug vernacular, you know, not just Shakespeare but like all kinds of works of classic literature and such, and it is absolutely incredible to watch. And they had little animations and stuff in the style of Jib Jab, that kind of a thing, to like keep up with
Okay.
the story. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. It is so funny.
Okay. I may have to I may have to look that up at some point in time against my better judgment.
Honestly, I think you'd love him just because it's really witty. Some of the stuff that he comes up with, you know.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy good wit.
Let's see. See if someone's written down some Thug Notes quotes. Okay, Goodreads. I thought so. Um, I'm trying to find. Let's see, which one do we want to look at? Okay, so I only see 4 on Goodreads, but that's okay. Let's see. So he's talking Great Gatsby. You know the story, okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What makes Gatsby so great is the book's title indicating is that unlike the rest of these shallow rich folk, Gatsby actually believe in something. Love, dog. He builds himself a new identity just for Daisy. Everybody else straight up empty inside.
I mean,
He's not wrong.
it's not wrong.
uh
Yeah.
To me, literature would like a club with no line and an open bar 24/7. Anybody can come in and get crunk as they want on the sweet knowledge juice. Prowling.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Since you like Pride and Prejudice, okay, right? Like, you know, whatever
Oh
else. Yeah.
yes, I
Okay.
love Pride and
Okay.
Prejudice.
When Darcy start giving her lip giving her lip at the beginning, she like F that player. I don't give a D how thick his paper be, but as the book go on, Lizzie start thinking she might have jumped the gun judging that fool. It take a while for Lizzie to learn she need to slow her roll and give her brother a chance. Good night, Hazel. You want to say good night to Mr. Alex?
It's time for me. It's time for me to go to bed now.
Okay, good night, Hazel.
Good night.
You want to say good night to Peter?
Yeah.
Say good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, Peter.
All right. All right, close my door, please. Thank you.
Joshua and his kids.
Hello.
He says hi. She says hi back.
Mm-hmm. So any which way.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad. Okay, have you ever seen? I say it's an old movie. It's probably like 2004
Okay.
or something.
Oh,
Called
hello,
The Reading
Peter
Room
Parker
with
from
James Earl Jones.
Hello, Peter Parker from from the Civil War. Guys, remember that really old movie? Anyway, go ahead.
I say it's old. It's not really. It is a
Right.
TV movie though, so it feels older than it actually is.
Right. What is it?
The Reading Room with James Earl Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
2005.
2005. Ooh, I was close.
You were close.
Hallmark Hall of Fame movie, which is not a Hallmark movie. So, you know, in case anybody on the internet is not familiar with Hallmark Hall of Fame, it's their actually good movies as opposed to the trash that they generally make.
Right.
But the story is James Earl Jones is like elderly businessman who is retired, and he decides to fulfill his wife's dream of trying to give inner city kids an education by opening up a reading room. So not a library, you can't take the books out, but there's, thousands and thousands of good books there, and people can come in and sit and read and drink tea or coffee or whatever there.
Right.
It's a really, really cool movie. And one of the takeaway points of it is that if these stories are good because they resonate deeply with like humanity itself, and that works in any culture.
Right.
even cultures that are generally thought of as bereft of actual what's the word I'm looking for? Taste, almost.
Right.
Like they don't enjoy finer things.
Hmm?
These stories are transcendent.
Hmm?
And so I actually like the Thug Notes quote for that
Hmm?
because it gets to that. That these are universal human experiences
Right.
that these books are just so good at saying. You just have to break through that wall of culture
Right.
and expect more from people.
Yeah, for real. So, okay, Wilson or TK at least said she can't come. Okay, so we'll see who else
Okay.
decides.
I'm assuming that means that the Wilsons together are out.
Probably. But we shall see. Who else says anything? If anyone else, otherwise it may end up being you, me, and Debbie. Let me throw this out there.
Yeah.
I have this idea. And people can weigh in comments if they want to later on. So, the number one thing that I've always wanted to do with everything that I do here and, Poets Or, et cetera, is specifically recreate for people the feeling that I got of love from my father for reading me Narnia. That's one of the biggest goals of mine. And I was thinking about this today as I'm trying to build up some kind of live stream that I can do more regularly. One of the things that came to mind, and it would start small and, balloon out as need be, but the idea is actually we have an interesting family liturgy, family worship, whatever you want to call it, at night. And it wouldn't be every night. There would be times where it wouldn't be whatever, but I'd love to actually get to eventually as they grow up. I don't know all the details yet. I'm going very, very general here. Starting in our living room, going through our liturgy, having people come in sort of broadcast style, depending on the situation, and reading stories, as well as potentially even video games or 3, 2, 1, let's watch together movie reactions that you can sync up later, that sort of a thing.
As part of the liturgy?
Not as part of the liturgy, after the liturgy.
Okay. After the liturgy.
Liturgy is the opening, right?
Yeah.
The liturgy that we do is right now we're doing NKJV dramatized because it's good for the kids' imaginations.
Yeah.
NKJV dramatized. We're going through Genesis. I've just started doing this with them.
Is that the one with Jim Caviezel as Jesus?
I'm not positive. It's whatever I found on YouTube.
Okay.
And so basically, we're going through that, and we're just gonna slowly go through the Bible chapter by chapter, kind of a thing. After we do that, the next thing that comes is they get to pick songs. Peter gets one, then Hazel, then Mama, and then I ask the question, what are we thankful for? They pick something. They remember it, and we sing a psalm. After we sing the psalm, and I'm working through creating our own psalter with familiar tunes, piece by piece. I think I'm on 35, I want to say. So we have a good chunk of them, and we have a few other familiar ones that we don't have in the hymnal yet, or in the psalter yet. But basically, we're just going through, and we sing one psalm a night, kind of just rotating through them, so that they're learning them all. And then we pray. As I close, because they're not ready to do a lot of extemporaneous prayer yet, I say, Peter is thankful for, and he says what he was thankful for. Hazel is thankful for, and then Mama is thankful for, and then they do that. But I lead the prayer, and then we sing three short regular songs that they know every night are like the ending. Michael Card's Baroka, one that I wrote called He Brought Me to His Table. It's based on I might as well just do it real quick. He brought me to his table, his flag o'er me is love. My cup he overfloweth, more deep I'll drink above. His words to me are precious, yea, more than much fine gold, sweeter than sweetest honey, and the honeycomb. So it's a couple different scripture references, right? And then the other one that we do is one my dad wrote, which is also just a handful of scripture references set to a tune. And so they get a song from their grandfather, they get a song from me, and they get the Michael Card song that my dad sang to us at night. What's up, Brendan?
Hello, sir.
Good to see you.
I exist.
You are here.
No, you do not. Stop kidding yourself.
You are awake and alive, like Skillet.
I actually really like that.
Would that make you my home skillet?
No,
Don't say that.
You cook.
Oh boy.
I am not a utensil.
Joshua.
Yes.
Do not say that. Whenever I see you, I possess a skillet, and I have seen Tangled.
Have you seen that there's a sword-hilted frying pan that's being sold online called Excalibur?
Yes. Yes, I love it. I love it so much. That's a pun I can get behind. Whenever puns are given flesh, I can get behind that.
You were saying, Brendan?
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay.
I was
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad you're here. Trying to see if there's any way I can up your audio a little bit, because you were really quiet on the last one. And yeah.
I'm not plugged into the
mic.
I didn't plug my microphone in.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't see any way to do it from my end at the moment, so
it's under settings.
Right click.
You're ready to do it.
Right click, double tap on his face, and you should be able to up user volume.
It's all the way up, 200%.
Yeah.
Wow, this is the first time anyone has said I'm quiet.
True.
It's a novel experience whenever it happens.
Don't make me smack you.
No, I'm saying the same things happen to me. I've been told I'm quiet. I'm like, what? Really? Who do you hang out with? Introduce me to them.
Oh, goodness.
Yep. So are we just going to effectively have this be a Poets at War episode? Impromptu? Because it seems like we're the only people on here.
At the moment, Joel said that he was trying to get in, but he's having trouble logging into Discord. Not our server, I don't think.
Okay. Does he have a invite link?
Yes.
Okay.
He does. It's not the server, it's Discord.
Okay.
His user account. So he's trying to figure it out. Anyway, where was I? Oh, you guys
Liturgy, explain.
Well, I mostly finished it. Yeah, I mostly finished that. But yeah, once and then Peter goes to bed, but usually Hazel stays up for an hour past that. And so that's the way it is right now. It would change in the future, whatever. But that would be the idea, is we start with that, and then it kind of just goes into, like we're all just gathering around to do whatever thing we're doing as a stream. Join the family, right?
Yeah.
So I'm messing with it. I'm seeing how it goes. Both of you saw me playing with Video Ninja. It is starting to work better, but I still have a lot of audio routing things to figure out in regard to that. That's the video service that's not Discord that would work well for what we're doing. Are either of you I know, Alex, you said you're definitely on for Marcus tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And Brendan, you said you probably won't be able to, or?
I said I wasn't sure.
You're still not sure? Okay.
Because we didn't know what the schedule was like. We got here. It looks like it would be theoretically possible for me to set up and do it.
Okay.
What time?
8 o'clock Eastern.
Same time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
So 7 o'clock, where I am now. Joy.
I was trying to make it at least 6 for Marcus, so it wasn't, whatever, because he's in Moscow. So, but yeah. So, you have more script stuff to read?
Do I have more script stuff to read? I always have more script stuff to read.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Need to find the most recent variation. Did I actually make a most recent variation? I might not have.
Just scrolling through the archive.
Oh, hold up. No, I didn't share it. No, I know I didn't share it. That's not the issue. Finding the right folder is the issue. Let's see.
Yes.
311.
You're effectively Gandalf going through the library at Minas Tirith,
No, okay, so that's not
trying to find the files, except for instead of trying to find the oldest files, you're trying to find the newest ones.
Well, the fact of the matter is I don't have a most recent version, so I have to log in and export a
That's a fun find.
Download. This is what, 326? Yeah. 26. And I have a new folder. I'm one of these madmen who downloads a million things for various things. Some of it's 3D printing, some of it is other things. So I have I ended up creating a separate folder for my scripts since I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versions of this thing. Each based off of their own date, so that I can go back and it's basically functionally me having a change log.
Yep.
I don't know what I would share though.
That's okay. I still have no clue what I'm sharing. Effectively, I was just saying this stream idea to Alex, see what he thought.
Stream idea. Oh, right.
Yeah, basically just kind of turning some of family worship and some of the time afterward into a stream.
I think that it's an interesting idea, but I am wary of.
Oh, I'm aware of the pitfalls. I'm not
100%. I'm pretty wary of doing anything to publicize home life. I feel like those two spheres should be kept separate.
I do,
generally speaking.
Yeah, I think sharing, but I think of it more as a hospitality thing. I think that there's both. There's home life and then there's hospitality, and streams can be a hospitality, especially for what I'm going for, which is to create a place where you, who may not have a family close to you and whatever else, can have a family liturgy, get ideas for your own family liturgy, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm aware. It's still a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I don't care about weird. But it doing it once, sure. Having a specifically like weekly thing set up, or even a daily thing set up, where you were saying, okay, this is what we're doing, something like a vlog.
I was saying more like,
okay,
yeah.
I'm still not super comfortable with it, but it works. Having it be every day, come and join us for the family liturgy feels
It would be more
which
like,
is what I thought you were saying, because you were talking about regularity. You're wanting something regular.
When I'm saying regular, I'm not saying scheduled.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying flexible as the crow flies and archived for the future.
Okay. That makes sense.
The purpose of the streaming, then. You might as well just record it.
Interaction.
Yeah.
Not good enough. If you're not doing it regularly, it's not going to go anywhere.
When I said regularly, I was saying do it slow to have the archived videos, and it's an easier to do than just recording, because then I would want to edit it and all kinds of other stuff. Where you going to get your nails done? I'll say hi. No, just wave then.
We wave back.
He said we wave back. No, the
And we also waved back.
the point is to get it to a more regular sort of thing, but I'm not worried about the timing specifically. It's like, this is our regular everyday life. So when you see it pop up, join in or watch it later.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think that regularity is as big of a deal for live streams as it used to be honest with you. I'm seeing a move away from that to more like, hey guys, I just wanted to jump on for a stream for a while. I had some time, etc., etc. I'm seeing a lot more.
If you had a larger audience, I would agree
Yeah.
with you.
Agreed. What he said.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Which one are you agreeing with? Because I butted in just as you were starting to
Brendan, Brendan, I'm agreeing with you. That's exactly what I was going to say. Most of the people who I'm seeing move away from regular streaming, streaming seems to have split into two completely separate things.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, your LTT style streaming, where they effectively do streams that are evergreen content.
Right.
Like that's what they do. And then the others are your Moist Criticals, your Destinies, your streamers who stream for 8 hours a day every day.
Right.
And it seems like the middle ground has kind of gone away, or at least moved to X spaces.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, we may try it and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm not considering it as a, let me put it this way. I'm not considering it in any way as a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
This is
okay,
this
yes.
this
Well,
is,
no, you want to
yeah.
provide. No, you're very clear that you want to provide some kind of.
Could there be
I don't want to say service because that
Experience.
sounds too. Yeah, experience in a way. But here's the other
Hey.
question I've got, Joshua.
Is that Joel?
Yep.
Yeah, Joel just
Cool.
joined.
You can go ahead and
Um,
invite him over and all that. Be great.
the question that I've got is, how does this fall within your Presbyterian church? Because what it sounds to me like you are doing is acting as an elder.
Mm,
Because you are
okay, I see what
leading
you're saying, but like that like yeah, I'm
just-
following what you're saying.
Can I quickly butt in? I don't necessarily think that's an issue per se,
Right.
but I want to make sure that you get your metaphoric. I don't want you to do something that causes problems in a completely separate
Right.
thing later, right? That's just something I would throw at you.
Well,
just
the
like,
idea
hey,
is not that I'm teaching you, it's that I'm teaching my children, and you're seeing a bit of that, and then we go into fun stuff. It has more to do with the fun stuff than the actual liturgy.
all right. I'm a little worried. I would be worried about streaming my kids, but
Yeah, I understand that. And I've already vlogged them a fair amount years ago, honestly. And so like I'm not as worried about that.
Sure.
That's something that, you know, I understand people's issues with that, but that's less of an issue to me. The main thing for me is I don't want them to have a performative attitude in this case, but at the same time, I also want them to understand that the show is not, when I say the show, I'm speaking in the abstract, not the show, this specific show. The show is part of life as well as the private part of life. And they're all part of life. You know, they're not, it's like, I think a lot of people put them in two categories, and it's like a sacred secular divide kind of a thing. And I don't really like that, because I don't like people being just a character online, and I also don't like people and having a completely different life behind the scenes, and I also don't like people like just vomiting everything that they have to say either. I think that there's an in between where you can be both, you know? So, what's up? You're thirsty? We'll go get a drink. You know how to do that. Here's a cup. Go get a drink. You're good. Close my door, please. Thank you. All right, we got Joel potentially.
Welcome back
Hello.
to the show that doesn't end. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
I love ELP. He's working on it, it appears.
Yep. It takes a while to figure it out.
Yeah, we can't hear you yet. You may have to unmute, etc. But you can
Usually
figure that
he-
out as you go.
He might.
He's not muted.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no input coming into his mic.
Okay, he needs to change his video and audio settings, which are in the cog. You see it in the bottom left. If you're on desktop, there's a cog, and you go in there, hit voice and video, choose your microphone and video camera. There may be another way through mobile if you're doing mobile, but it's very similar in general. Find the cog, go to voice and video. But voice and video should just work on mobile if I'm thinking correctly. Anyway,
It should.
He's not on mobile. I don't
He has deafened
think.
himself. He has muted and deafened himself, and now he's stopped.
he's figuring it out. Also,
Yep.
Abigail says that she'd probably jump on to at least say hi at some point, and that she may just jump
Cool.
in to listen to as well. So we'll see.
I don't.
Well, very cool.
Do I have?
So yeah, that idea is mostly what I brought, I think. I've just been reading so much lately for audiobooks and such that I'm kind of like, and I have to do more reading after the broadcast, so.
So we're not going to be hanging out till 3 a.m.
I'm definitely going to hang with you
today.
some. I'm not going to not hang out with you, but we'll figure it out.
Uh-huh.
Any which way.
I get distracted while cleaning. It's very annoying.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
How are you, friend?
Pretty good. Just busy trying to plan out this ridiculous storytelling narrative play class thing for the kids at my church. And yeah.
Hello, Abigail.
Hello. I think I have this up too loud. How are you guys?
Good, you?
I'm mostly over my cold. So, I had it last week, but I still croak a little bit. That's why.
I gotcha. No problem. No problem. Are you going to be sticking around and sharing something or just hanging out?
Oh, I'd love to share things.
Cool. I'd love to hear
But,
some things.
Woohoo!
Excellent.
Yeah, I've been hanging on to an interesting dragon idea that I'd love to get you guys' opinion on. So, but a bit later, you can carry on with whatever you were doing because I am in the middle of cutting out a dress.
By all means. Yep. Daniel, would you want to, I kind of shared something earlier, but that's fine. Do you want to jump in with anything you have? I know you're working on this narrative play thing. Care to share anything that's particularly catching your interest?
Oh my goodness.
Shopping a D&D game on Broodcast sounds great.
Yep.
I honestly, okay. I'm trying to figure out, because I'm just so overwhelmed with how many of them were interested, how to go about doing that. And I'm still overwhelmed. I think the current plan is I'm going to teach them how to play this week, gauge interest, hopefully lose some of them. I have so many players, I'm trying to lose some. My goodness. But no, I will hopefully get a few of them interested enough in running their own little games.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of just sit back and watch them play. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a good idea. Do you have some scenarios and things in mind at the moment?
Roughly, kind of the scenarios I have. I'm going to open it up and kind of explain the current state of the world and their all be knighted as heralds of the king and whatnot.
Hello, can you hear me?
How we doing,
People
Joel?
kinda-
We can hear you barely. I'm not sure if you can turn up or
Hey.
not, but I will try to see if I can turn you up on my end. Looks like I can, so I'll turn you up on my end at least a little bit.
Desktop didn't work, so I switched to the phone.
I gotcha. Well, that works. Guys, this is Joel. He is the only other current member. Taylor is too, but she's just been busy, of the local CSRA Brood, Central Savannah River area, for those not in the know. So that's cool.
That's awesome.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hello.
And he has a cool zombie alien sci-fi thing that he has been writing for a little while. He'll probably share some of that this evening.
Oh, very cool.
So yes, I would love that. I'm sure they would love to hear it too.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and for anything further, Daniel, you can go ahead talk through what you're doing.
I'm trying to get to the chase, cut to the chase here.
Yeah.
But that is not my forte.
It's all good.
So
It's all good.
let me know if we're rambling. But generally speaking, I have 3-ish scenes in mind for this ridiculous thing. I don't know how this is going to work just yet. Sunday will probably just be explaining the game and kind of explaining who they are and the story.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe kind of my character, a little hobgoblin dude named Rickson, is going to show them how to play the game by like arranging a race, which is also going to be in game. Basically, I'm trying to think. They're soldiers essentially training. Their training montage in game and out of game is all it's going to be.
Okay.
And I'm going to set it up on like a whiteboard. And they're going to roll dice simultaneously, trying to like race to the finish line. So I can kind of teach them the ins and outs of the game all at once and make it a fun game sort of thing. So,
well, that sounds fun.
Yeah. And then later on, should I get like 2 people? Really, all I need is 2 other people to be like other assistant DMs. And I'm going to have them raid a goblin camp and try to figure out what's controlling said goblins, because they're supposed to be peaceful at this point in history, and save the people and see maybe what other things they can find.
Because you got like 20 kids doing this thing.
Yeah, so I have 20 kids doing this, and so this week I'm just going to teach them the game. And if I lose any of them, honestly, that's fine. I'll survive. We will survive. There's plenty of people. If anything, I can say, oh no, the goblins attacked, and the people who stopped playing are now people we have to rescue just as NPCs.
Sure.
So,
yeah, makes sense.
But no, I'm going to basically just teach them the gist of the game as kind of like a big old race. Put everybody's name on a grid and say, you roll dice. If you roll higher, you fill up the block. You fill a box. You roll a certain amount higher. You fill up 2 boxes. First person to fill up their 10 boxes wins the race.
Yep, makes sense.
And yeah.
I ran a library campaign at the library for a while, and all new players every time, and it can be frustrating teaching a bunch of new players at once. I feel you.
Yeah, I'm running Fate, and I'm just trying to do a Fate accelerated game because it's a kid-oriented game, and I was not expecting there to be 20 of them who were like, oh, yes, I want to play. And it's like, I don't have the resources, the pen, the paper, the ink, the brains to do this. So I am hoping to find at least some help.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Brendan,
if it means
go ahead.
If it means just giving the characters, giving the younger players their characters and be like, oh, there you go, have fun, go play, and then
I'll be back in a second.
Sure thing. There's Alex. So Brendan, you said you had possibly some stuff from your thing. Do you think you do, or do you think you just want to listen to that?
Yeah, I'll jump ahead. I don't want to read the entire I don't want to read the entire script over the course of the broadcast so that somebody can just watch it back and steal my idea. But
Right.
I'll read the most recent part. Basically, those of you who are following, this is later on in the week. This is going to be kind of, I haven't finished it, but this is the tipping point
Okay.
of the story.
Real
So
quick, like two paragraph max recap of what this story is and what it's for.
this is a script for a potential animated TV / streaming service thing that I am working on. Long short of it is that I need to write a script. I've basically concluded that I need to write the script for all the episodes so I have it ready. And then I have to build a pitch deck and pitch it to people in order to actually get them to fund it so that I can make it. The basic premise of it is it's a buddy travelogue journey story with a angel who became a mortal man fighter and a female human herbalist. And they travel through the Feywild because, of course, they do. It's me. If you know me, that is entirely on brand.
Yes.
So
At some point in time, enchantment is going to be mentioned.
Something enchantment, something.
Good catch up.
So as a lead up, Ava found this human guy in the middle of the woods and he was severely wounded.
Daniel, can you mute yourself when other folk
I
are
am
reading?
so sorry. I thought I did.
It's all good, man. Go ahead.
Ava found this dude in the woods. He was wounded. She brought him back to her house and she was been treating his wounds. He woke up the previous day to this day because it's a new day. We just had a night scene and now it's the next day. Interior, also, this is in script format. So if this sounds weird being read out loud, that's because it is. It's in script format, not in novel format. Interior, Ava's hut day. Ava emerges from her room and looks around, sees Aram quietly sitting in his cot, looking out the window. Ava is the herbalist, Aram is the warrior. She walks over to the cabinet and pulls out some bread and cheese. Good morning, Aram. Or Ava. Good morning, Aram. Aram doesn't respond. Despite all the colorful plants outside, he's staring at the sky, almost as if he can't see anything else. Ava just busies herself boiling water for tea and cutting up bread and cheese. After a moment, he speaks. Aram, I take it you are responsible for finding me? Ava takes a moment to finish cutting the cheese and bread, composing herself. Dealing with his direct attitude is not something she is comfortable with yet, but this is a chance to get more information. Ava, yes, you were in the woods not far from here. Aram does a little nod. Ava watches him carefully. You were badly injured, some gashes, some burns. I can't imagine what you went through. No response. Ava, anyway, I did my best to treat them, but you didn't wake up for a full day and a half. You still need to recover. May I change your bandages? There's a pause, a sort of silence, until Aram realizes he was asked a question. Aram, Oh, yes, proceed. Ava begins to remove the bandages and is absolutely stunned by what she finds. The gash has closed, but is still somewhat raw. The burns are all but gone, and the bruising has been greatly reduced. Ava, what on earth? Aram, is something amiss? Ava, your wounds, they are way better than they should be. Aram, well, you treated them. This must be a testament to your skill. May I return to my home? Somewhat annoyed, Ava flicks Aram's bruised side. He double over and hisses with a pained groan. Ava, not with those cracked ribs, you aren't. You won't be able to get anywhere with those. If you want to get back to your home, you need to rest. Now wait here. I need to go get more herbs to treat your wounds. Aram groans and holds his side, grumbling something unintelligible. Ava heads out the door, closing it behind her. Exterior forest day. Ava walks purposefully through the woods. She knows a patch of a specific herb she needs for She knows a patch of the specific herb she needs for the healing. I forgot to finish that sentence. That's a typo. As she travels along, she sees a large black hound in the distance. She carefully moves, giving it a wide berth. But at a certain point, when she is hiding, she notices it raise its head. It turns to look roughly in her direction. The hellhound is black and incredibly large, almost the size of a small house, and has glowing red eyes. Ava lets out an involuntary gasp, and in response, the hellhound's head looks in her direction. At this point, its remaining 4 eyes open, all glowing red. Out of fear that is amplified by the monster, should be indicated somehow, Ava turns and runs full tilt. The hellhound, smelling an opportunity for prey, pursues, letting loose an less aggressive barks and baying. Ava is no match for the speed of the thing. However, the hellhound is not used to its material physical form. It tries to run through a split tree only to get caught, snapping at Ava's heels. At another point, it's about to get her when she turns, and it is moving far too fast, so its own momentum carries it way farther than it means to, sliding down a hill. Exterior village edge day. Ava bursts from the tree line, making a beeline for her house. The dog bursts from the trees as she reaches the door, but she fumbles with the lock. The hound is charging forward. Ava loses to its menacing aura and drops to the side, cowering under the overhang of the door. The hound leaps at her. She expects to feel pain, but nothing happens. When she opens her eyes, Aram is standing over her, holding the jaws of the beast open. It snarls and tries to snap, but Aram is simply too strong, despite being so much smaller than it. Aram, with almost glee. My, what a loyal beast. Ava sees that Aram has what could almost be described as a malicious grin on his face. Aram is a warrior, and one of his sworn enemies just came to him. Aram. Sent to finish what your master started, huh? The hellhound snarls. Well, then shall I send you back to them in pieces? The hound whips its head around, sending Aram flying, but he manages to land on his feet. The hound is swiftly after him. Aram, quietly. Here we go. They begin to fight, Aram mostly wrestling and punching as he has no real weapon yet. That's as far as I got.
Seems pretty good.
I am enjoying it thoroughly. Aram is something that I can tell the more and more you write, the more and more you know this character backwards and forwards. He's the one that I've had the least amount of questions about. Ava, you're still trying to figure out on a lot of ways and sorts of things, and you're trying to make it all work.
Suck at writing girls.
Yeah, totally.
I really suck at writing girls.
Well, it's not
I
just
suck at writing protagonists.
Right. But it's not
so
just
when I have a female protagonist, I'm in trouble.
Right. But I'm just saying that makes Aram all the more real. And you're figuring this out as you go, and you're figuring stuff, out as far as how to do what you want to do. But when you get to Aram, everything is just clicking on all cylinders. And you've got this guy down 100%. And I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy hearing you write Aram.
especially whenever he jumps into the fight.
Mm-hmm.
My, aren't you a loyal beast?
Mm-hmm.
Good. You've got that.
Daniel, Abigail, any comments?
I can't think of anything, but I mean, it sounds very entertaining, and I'm looking forward to hearing the rest.
I think it'll.
Hello?
Yes, Abigail.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just making sure it was unmuted. Yeah, no, I really liked that. That was a nice bit of action. It was very easy to visualize.
This was I'm
confusing
I'm a
Daniel.
guy. My brain is action oriented, so this is something that I actually I knew going. this is a scene I knew would happen. This is how I knew Ava would be introduced to the actual conflict, the metaphysical conflict happening, and what and this was how she would discover, hold up, there's way more to Aram than meets the eye.
Right.
A lot of the other stuff is just like figure it out as I go.
Yeah, one of those scenes where you
This
know
is-
what's going to happen from the very beginning. It's a joy to get to it when you can write it.
Mm-hmm.
Alex?
Joel, you look like you wanted to say something.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I would say it seems to me that it'll fit into the anime style very nicely. It seems to have the that wounded hero coming back and making his way back to health, and I think it'll fit the style very well.
Alex?
Yeah, I am heavily influenced by anime, I will admit. It is true. I cannot lie.
Do you have something, Alex?
I did. Is gone now.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh well.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think it was just hearkening to something that somebody else had said. So, yeah.
I gotcha.
You can visualize. I know how to write Aram.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, no. I like I say subtle world building. It's not technically subtle world building. It's just you understand how this type of society actually works. That she is able to think of, oh, these are the herbs that I need. They grow off that direction. I'm going to go find them. Like she knew where a patch of the herb was. That's obviously just a thing that happens in pre-industrial societies. But I can't think of another time that a book has done that except for like Lord of the Rings. Whenever Aragorn is looking for a Kingsfoil in book 3.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Return of the King.
Doesn't
Oh,
he
yeah, that
also
does
look for
happen in-
Kingsfoil in when Frodo's stabbed by
Is that the same
Lich
plant?
King? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
In the
That's not
movie.
one.
Yes.
The
No,
blue
that's
form
the
is
same
in
Is that in the book?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought so.
but yeah, but that's also something that an herbalist would know how to do, and she's an herbalist.
Yes.
So
Of course.
it makes total sense for me. And
Yeah,
also, it's
it
something that
does.
Sherlock Holmes does, which is why I think that he's like related to Aragorn.
That's fair. I forgot that Holmes did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He knows where
but
things
it's
go.
just not something that I see brought up often.
Uh-huh.
Is that they actually know the lay of the land.
What were you saying, Brendan?
I am gonna have to figure out how to show that visually eventually. That is something I'm going to need to work on.
She could have notes or a little map of
Ooh, yeah.
what groups are in what part of the forest.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that would work.
The other thing, it doesn't have to be in the woods. It could just be her giant garden.
But she needs to get
Well,
into
no,
the woods for the
foraging
hound
is a
to chase
thing.
her.
Yeah.
She does have a
People do
massive
foraging
garden.
now.
Yeah, she could
Maybe
just like
gets
look at the
some
map
from her
and
garden
the
and then
name.
goes. Maybe she gets some from her garden and then says like, "Oh, this one, right? That's over there," and then walks. But she needs to be in the woods for the hellhound to notice her and chase her. That's the problem.
That makes sense. She could be like having a list and like going down. Did you have a name for the herb?
Not yet.
Okay, but like,
I'm just trying to get the skeleton in right now.
right. But
Once
she could be like blue flower, red thorn, blue, and going down a list, and then be like, it's west of the pond or something like that.
yeah, something.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of the map. Like having her flip through her notebook and say, I know that I saw those last week. Flip back to a page. Okay, this is where it is.
That would be
And
very
the
Ava.
notebook could be a recurring character of itself.
Sure.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I know that Joel has something to share. Abigail has something to share. Which of you guys want to go first? I've kind of shared my thing. I know Alex doesn't have anything. Daniel's kind of shared his, and Brendan shared his. So, which one of you want to go next?
Ladies first.
Family, real quick.
Oh, okay. Well then,
You say dang it?
I'll make my family be like, what is she talking about? She's in there chattering to herself. They're fine. They know. Okay, so who was it who was talking about? Well, seems like a couple of different places were talking about dragons lately.
Yeah. We probably talked about dragons recently.
Yeah, I mean, when do we not? But
I'd be surprised if we hadn't talked about dragons recently.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm working on like really back burner project. It's something that I want to do someday when I have time. That's a project that I'm calling the Rise and Fall of the Dragon Empire.
Okay.
About a culture that essentially like makes an alliance with dragons in the mountains and becomes very powerful through that alliance. But it's also pretty oppressive and terrible. And I have 3 main books that I want to write about it that will explore like how did it start, how does it end. But I keep coming up with extra ideas. So recently, somebody pointed out that in Psalm 18, the description of God is very close to a dragon. And when I was reading it recently, I was like, oh yeah, that it does make sense that way. It's very close to like coming out of the clouds, coming out of the sky on wings, and breathing fire from his nostrils, and it's all of the description is really close to how dragons are described elsewhere in the Bible.
So much so, let me just say really quickly that my 6-year-old daughter, when we did Psalm 18 fairly recently for part of our liturgy, immediately went, is God sometimes a dragon?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for real. So, and I said, well, he's in charge of all the dragons and he can do anything as far as that's concerned. So probably,
Yeah.
But yeah, so continue with what you're saying. I just wanted to point that out.
Wow. Okay, so she caught on to it too. That's cool. But yeah, so it hit me like that would make a great premise for a book. Like I have the dragons in my world who are at best amoral. Like they're not good. But what if there was one that was good? That has a really strong strong moral core, if nothing else, through a connection to a person. And like the way that Psalm 18 goes, it's like God, the dragon, comes out of the skies and rescues me as I'm floundering. And it's like, okay, that would be a cool concept to retell as a have a story with a hero who's in trouble and is rescued by a dragon and forms a close partnership that's entirely good. And, proceed from there. I think it'd be a really cool concept. So, there you go. What do you think?
I do think it's a really cool concept. I think that another place you can look for inspiration, I'll look for it in a second, but you're familiar with Brian Sauvé? Of course you are. Haunted Cosmos. Have you listened to the Even Dragons Praise Him album?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know that. What is that song?
Well, listen to it again. It's so good.
Let me see, which psalm was that? 148. So you can look at that as well. And then possibly have sort of this, like you were saying, sort of amoral, potentially beastly kind of class, and then like the Lord of the Dragons kind of a thing.
Ooh, I like that. So I have this lordly dragon that's the protagonist.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's a cool idea.
Yeah. I love the general concept, and obviously you probably have a lot more here than you're not revealing yet, but like I like the general premise a lot of trying to turn that take that and show the fantasy elements for what they are.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely, I mean, it would be really interesting to do in the setting of the whole story where there's where you know the dragons are often evil,
Mm-hmm.
but then do this flip where it's like, okay, here's this one that's like the best, kind of the pinnacle of everything a dragon should be,
Right.
and have that one as the focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Anyone
think?
else?
I can see Alex's gears turning.
Yeah, this sounds really, really cool. I really want to read it. The way that you were talking about it, you were saying 3 volumes showing the like rise and then the empire and the decline of. Are these in universe? Is this like the decline and fall of the Roman Empire type thing, where it's
Yeah.
just documenting what happens from a in-universe standpoint? So this empire used to exist. This is what it looks like a history book, or are they novels?
It would be no, it's novels, but in universe, it would be a history.
Okay.
So Tolkien
Cool.
style. The Red Book, the
Yeah.
West March. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So are you gonna have like paralogs before like each chapter where like Brandon Sanderson, I love him dearly.
Yes.
Like before each of his chapters he has like an excerpt of like this fictional book, like a history book or something.
They're called epigraphs.
Epigraphs, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a cool idea. And you know, like I said, this is one of those projects that I really, really want to work on, but it is still in the concept phase. So doing something like that would be ideal. Yeah.
One thing that might be fun is if you had like little author's footnotes from a fictional author.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In universe, this is a world where books literally have power.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the magic works. There's a magic associated with some books that can open portals or capture individual people or concepts. So these chronicles, you know, that tell the story of the rise and fall of the Dragon Empire, they might be associated with some of that kind of magic. And there are the people who are, you know, the dedicated scribes who are tasked with writing and keeping these books. And, you know, from the library of from their library would make sense.
I dig it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like a lot of fun to me. I think you're getting more excited about it with us, so maybe you'll get going on it. Make some time. Abigail's published, by the way, Joel. She's had quite a few things published through, what was it again? The Havoc, right?
Especially Havoc, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is
and
Havoc?
Also, it's a flash fiction website. It has daily flash fiction, you know, Christian publishers, but not necessarily Christian stories. It tells me, you know, Christian speculative flash fiction stories.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a great venue for, you know, getting your work out there.
And that's HAVOK, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, and if you go to the website, you have to look up gohavoc.com. Otherwise, you'll end up in, you know, some weird netherworld.
The
Yes,
internet. There's
nether worlds of the internet.
Uh-huh.
HAVOK?
Yeah.
Got it. It's backwards?
It's really great. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I've done stories there and various other places, anthologies and stuff, which makes me feel very official.
Ah.
Well, Joel, you've got the floor, and we've got a fair amount of time. So why don't you give the people an introduction to your story? Not too long on the introduction, hopefully, and then actually give us a scene you want to share.
Okay. I got two I've been debating back and forth between. As he mentioned, I am working on a sci-fi novel. It is the quick synopsis is there's an asteroid full of nanite robots that has been sent to Earth. When it hits, the nanites crawl into people's brains and turn them into zombies. This was sent by a race called the Zarthonians. There is another race called the Astari who are coming to help Earth fight it off. Previously, they have shown up on Earth and borrowed or recruited or whatever you want to call it, some humans to come fight for them on their worlds against the Zarthonians. But now they are coming to return the favor. All this was done in secret, and no one on Earth really knows about it except for the few people who were basically there to help coordinate with what's coming. So the second chapter in the book I'm going to read. I've read Josh the first chapter, and it's out of order. The first chapter actually takes place in like chapter 6, but from a different perspective. So I'm going to start with the second chapter called Approach. And I get really nervous when I read in front of people, so excuse me if I pause or stutter a little bit.
You're good, man. Take your time.
If you think you're bad, just go back a few episodes and listen to me.
Daniel will destroy you in the bad reading contest.
Oh yes, every single time.
But we love him anyway too.
He said it, not me.
Well, I mean, you did just kind of imply. Anyway, continue, Joel.
All right. In the darkness, 4 black eyes watched the blue-green sphere as it rotated on the screen, their owner studying the different aspects of the world they would soon approach. Behind her, the door to her room slid open and 2 figures entered. Her implants linked to theirs, showing her their names and exact positions. "Captain, why are you sitting in the dark?" the first asked in her native tongue of Sepuanian. "It's creepy when you brood like this." He switched on the lights with his implants, revealing her quarters. They were immaculately clean, except for the pile of her mate's dirty clothes on the unmade bed. They had been there ever since last year. Her guests knew not to touch them. She blinked her 4 eyes in the sudden brightness. "I'm just thinking about your world," she answered. "Let us speak in English. I require practice." "Sure. Well, everyone on the ship has a new call sign. I approved all of them," he reported. "Have you made a decision about your name yet?" "Yes. I like your suggestion of shortening my name to Kira. It sounds pleasant. Will your kind be able to say it?" "I think it's close enough to some of our names." He gestured to the second silent visitor and continued. "She's taking the name Neon. It's what humans call the color of her fur." "Are you going back to your old name?" Kira asked her champion. "I do not know if I have ever heard it." "What's the point? No one will remember me. It's been 50 years, he sighed. Kira hesitated, preparing herself for the answer to the next question. "Are you still mad at me about our decision to let one hit Earth?" Kira asked. "Of course I am," he replied, crossing his muscular arms. "I think a lot of people, my people, are going to die. It's a lousy homecoming, especially after all these years I've served your kind." "Fox, She stopped. She ran 2 hands through her long plum-colored hair, and 2 more smoothing out the fur along her neck. "I'm sorry that it must be this way. I wish that one day you will understand, or at least forgive me." "Hope. What?" "You hope that I will forgive you. Forget it." I gotta pause for just a second. I'll be right back.
Not a problem. We're good at filling dead air. Wait.
Yes, this is the way.
I can already tell
Yeah.
that I'm maintaining my bad reading medal.
Yeah, he's
or
doing fine.
Belt or get he's doing
Yeah.
fine.
He's doing fine.
He's doing really well.
So far, I'm trying to figure out where all the 4 eyes are.
Right.
Sorry, I'm back.
Okay,
I don't know.
back.
I was gonna say something clever, like quick. Everybody like pretends to say something bad, but nothing's working right now. Brain no works. Goodbye. Continue, Joel.
Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say we should change everybody's profile picture to like a zombie, and
There you go.
Yes. Or we could. Oh! I'm gonna like roll a d6. Dice. Anywho. Oh my.
Well, that was entertaining. Joel, go ahead.
All right. I wish that one day you will understand, or at least forgive me. Hope, he grumbled. What? You hope I will forget it. That's one of my things. The aliens get some words wrong. And one of them is they don't get the word hope. They just use the word wish. She turned then and looked at the two figures. Even though he was tall for a human, Fox was still a foot shorter than her. Neon was even shorter than he was, coming only to his shoulder. He snorted. His ice blue eyes flashed with anger, and he looked away. Neon raised a blue hand and rubbed his arm. She looked up at him with her large, multicolored eyes. Her tail drooped as she felt his anger returning. Neon gestured to the screen. Of course I'm happy to see Earth again, but it can wait. I'm not going to leave you alone, he said, gesturing to the silent companion. She smiled and rubbed as he rubbed the top of her blue head, and turned to go back through the door. Kimwaratala, we are going to grab some lunch. Do you want to join us? He called back to the room. Yes, thank you. I'll be right behind you, she said. I'm looking forward to a burger when we land, he said, to no one in particular, as he wandered off down the hallway. Neon looked after him for a second, then turned back to the captain. Yes, I am happy that he's talking to me again. Thank you for calming him down, Neon answered, sighing before she continued. I wonder what my father would think of my choice. Neon offered a sympathetic look. Yes, I miss him. It is a heavy decision to carry. Maybe if I were more confident or older, Kira started. Neon took a step forward, waving a finger at the captain. She pointed at the mark on her arm and forward towards the pictures on the wall. No, you're right, Kira said, smiling. There is no one else I would trust with this mission. I would never forgive myself if another captain came to this world. She walked over to lead the way out, but Neon gestured to the planet spinning on the screen. Kira looked back at the image. It is a beautiful world, Kira agreed. Do you think the humans will welcome us? Neon looked back and shrugged. I don't know. I'm afraid everything is about to change, Kira admitted, turning off the lights and leading her blue companion down the hall. That's the end.
There we go. One of the things that I've enjoyed about what he's read to us so far locally is he has a lot of fun with the differences in language and the misunderstandings that result in directly translating because they have no common grammar, all kinds of other issues, and he did a little bit of that here, but there's some really comedic things that happen. And one of the things that he really hits hard on is I'd love for you to go back into, I'm not going to steal your thunder, but go back and explain kind of why the Astari are doing what they're doing in coming to help Earth against this invasion. But before you do that, let me just say, I get a lot of Roland Emmerich vibes from a lot of what Joel does. And that's sort of like what he's doing, if you couldn't tell right away. And I like that in particular. I'm not a huge Roland Emmerich person, but I like what he's doing. It's sort of like Joss Whedon dialogue with Roland Emmerich movie. So that's kind of what I get. Anyway, go ahead.
I really, really want to see a Joss Whedon Roland Emmerich movie now.
Right? So But yeah, go ahead. If you could explain a little bit why the Astari are doing what they're doing in helping Earth against this invasion.
So the Astari were kind of on the run. They lost one of their planets and they were outnumbered and they needed reinforcements. One of the things that makes humans superior to the Astari is stamina. The Astari world ran on a 13-hour or 14-hour spin cycle as opposed to 24. So they're used to sleeping way more often. And they don't have the ability to keep fighting for hours on end. So getting some humans in there gives them the ability to fight longer. So they got some humans to come help, and the humans have been fighting for 50 years. The ones that they selected, they call them the champions. And they've been out there helping rescue their worlds. But now they're coming to help Earth because they don't want Earth to fall. They don't want, first off, they don't want their enemy to get more resources. But this is kind of like returning the payment, paying back the service that the champions came and paid.
Yeah. Yep.
Very interesting.
Any other thoughts from anybody? I just wanted to make sure we got that out there because you've got a lot of extra stuff in there that doesn't come across in one chapter. And I know you're going to try and do more, but I wanted to give them just a little taste of the bigger picture. So comments, anybody?
Is Astari an intentional reference to Lord of the Rings?
No.
Okay. Is it spelled the same way?
I don't believe it is.
As
the Astari wizard, the Astari is the name for the wizards.
you know what?
I don't think it's
Not gonna
spelled
lie,
the same
whenever
way.
I first heard it, I thought Astarion from Baldur's Gate, but it's just me. I haven't played that game. Not
In
recommending it. I just know it.
Astari is spelled I-S.
So I originally was going to have Aristar, but that was kind of weird to pronounce. So it's the word star with an A on one end and an I on the other.
So it's Astari, not Istari.
Astari, not Istari. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
But because we're in English, we schwa all unstressed vowels.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Oh,
Try
good.
it.
Well, no, I was just saying in English, all unstressed vowels become a schwa, which is a generic sound.
Yeah.
So Astari, because A is not the accented syllable, it becomes the same vowel as I. So
I didn't realize there was a technical term for that.
yeah,
Thank you.
It's called a schwa. Congratulations, you learned something today.
But yeah, any other thoughts from anybody on what you heard and the general story that he's creating?
How much do you know a second language, Joel?
Binary? No, not really. I know little bits of a lot of languages.
Yeah. Okay, that tracks. I just find it interesting what Joshua said about how you include mistranslation for both comedic effect and other effect. That's like there's only two reasons I would think. One, because they are trying to make it
Yeah,
as
you cut out through half of that. The only reason, and then you cut out.
There are only two reasons I could think why somebody would do that. One is that they're trying to be as realistic as possible, and they're like basically being a colossal, like, make this as accurate as real and realistic as possible nerd. The other option is that they're a language nerd and they think it's funny.
Well, the third option,
but all roads lead back to nerddom.
All roads
yes,
lead to nerddom.
Well, I think the way he's used it so far has been kind of twofold, like you were saying. But I think that the more dramatic way that he's been using it, as far as I've seen, is to discuss philosophical concepts on a deeper level because of the misunderstandings. It usually goes into a deeper conversation why we use this word versus this word, and why you
Okay.
using that word is inaccurate and kind of odd. And they go, well, why use this word? You know?
Mm.
And so that's been cool to see. Mhm.
So now we add the philosophy nerd. Excellent. No.
See why
I'm
he
just kidding.
fits in.
I know it's really cool. I appreciate it. I
Hold on a second. I know exactly what you're thinking of. Let me see if I can find it and read that little excerpt.
While you're doing that, Alex.
Have you read The Giver?
No, I have not.
Lois Lowry? Okay, she does something very similar as far as language goes, except for instead of two different languages, it's a future version of English where precision is valued above everything else. And so you end up losing a lot of words. It's like a different take on the 1984 Newspeak thing. It's basically 1984's Newspeak, but framed like Brave New World, where everybody's in on this because everybody thinks this is the right thing to do. It's a great book in its own right. The sequels are crazy weird. Like, I cannot express how weird they are, but it's a really good book.
I gotcha. Hold on one second. I'm running low on battery. I need to get a charger cable.
Go right ahead. But yeah, he's looking to publish eventually and get things going. He's been editing for a little while. He's been in a few groups, getting feedback, trying to polish things up. But he's still trying to figure out whether he wants to self-publish or really start putting it out to some publishers. I know Abigail has the most experience of any of us here in that regard. I have a lot of self-publishing, but did you have any ideas for him as far as that, Abigail, who might be interested in this sort of a thing?
Yeah, I think there's a few different places. I mean, like the smaller, more indie presses. There's a lot more interest in some unusual kinds of science fiction with a twist, that kind of thing, and a lot of Christians are getting into it too. And it's one of those like it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
And
I will say that one of my readers keeps referring to my work as pleasing to a very large audience, like Star Wars, which makes it feel great. But it's. I mean, there's no new concepts, right? But it's taking two concepts and kind of weaving them together.
Yeah, the zombie and the sci-fi.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. And I also, I mean, because I have something similar in one of my own stories. I have way too many stories, by the way.
We all do.
Yeah.
But there is I have a aliens coming, you know, never mind, it's too hard to explain. So it's like but yeah.
It let me sum
There's
up.
there's just too much. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I think that there is a lot of interest in science fiction right now, and there are places that would be interested, would at least want to look at it if you wanted to send it out. And I can try to send you links if I remember.
Well, that'd be awesome. I'm still in the what do they call it? Rewriting, refurbishing. That's not the right word either.
Revision?
Yeah, revision.
Yes, I'm still. But one thing, my wife has accused me of making a bait and switch book because I tell everyone it's about zombies, but that's kind of just the backdrop. The story focuses on the relationship between the aliens and the humans. The character Fox and the character Kit both are suffering from PTSD and depression. And Fox has fulfilled his contract and has the choice now to stay or go back with them. And
by the way, was he like kidnapped as a child? I mean, recruited as a child?
No,
or as a grown man?
Teenager.
Okay. Okay, carry on.
He has been given nanites that live in his body that keep him younger, and he has been frozen for space travel, so he's not as old as 50. He looks to be in his early 30s. they are worried if he stays on the planet, he'll just go insane from not being able to sleep because he has nightmares every night and things like that. So part of the goal of one of the characters is to find someone on Earth to take care of him, which winds up turning into finding him a wife, basically. But
That's an interesting concept.
Well, just a girlfriend's something.
Yeah.
And so I was debating on whether or not to tell you all this, but the blue one is his adopted daughter. He found her, and she was an orphan, and he adopted her, and she is trying to find someone to take care of him. The captain has a very serious attachment to him too, not romantic, but she believes if she has a connection with her dead dad through him, and she doesn't want him to stay. So those two are kind of at odds. Did anyone pick up that Neon didn't talk?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so she's mute and communicates through
Telepathy?
telepathic communication. Yeah.
Ooh.
But it's through the nanites. She's not telepathic normally. She uses the nanites to send messages.
So is it like restricted to other people who have nanites, or can they be telepathic with other people who don't have them?
So if you don't have them, she'll have to connect to your phone or your tablet or something like that.
Ah, okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And there's like a scene where she's sending messages to someone's tablet, but they don't check the tablet, and they're just getting more mad that she's not talking to them. And
That's
she's good.
fantastic. I can't wait to hear that.
So the part that Josh was talking about, so you have this guy Dirk talking to an alien named Zell, and she's talking about Fox, and she says, she's talking about people in general. She says, I've seen many struggle with the spirits that follow them. This word spirits, I'm unsure if there's another word with a similar meaning. Ghosts, he ventured. You mean the haunting memory that you never forget and you lose sleep over? Sounds close enough to me. She nodded. I noticed that word, but I was uncertain if it was a mythological being or if it was a way of hiding. Your literature seems undecided. Yeah, I bet that's a tough one, Dirk said. Some people really believe spirits and the undead roam the earth, but it's just superstition. Either way, a lot of people use it for entertainment. The term ghosting is hiding from someone because ghosts are invisible. And she turns around and says, it should not be entertaining at the dead's expense. He is haunted by many ghosts. He has a high body count then? No. Yes, but the ones that haunt him aren't ones he killed. They're the ones he was not in time to save.
Yep. I like that part a lot.
Very nice.
He does a really good job of bouncing back and forth between like serious and comedic, and like it's very Han Solo-y of a book.
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah.
say I can see why you got compared to Star Wars with that.
Yeah,
it definitely gives off like, I don't know if Guy Ritchie's the right thing, but it's very punchy to the point, very funny. Joss Whedon vibes, definitely more Firefly than Star Wars in my mind.
It has a Firefly.
You've also got
vibe,
a really good.
Go ahead.
You've also got a really good, talented, differentiating voices there, without having to dialogue tag, like just jumping back and forth and knowing who's speaking.
Because
you're good at that.
I'll be honest, I'm very bad about zoning out, but I could tell that they were even different voices, even though I was having trouble like placing them, just lack of familiarity on my part. But I could tell like that's a different person talking. That's a different person talking. I don't really know what they're talking about, but I know they're different people. So.
Yeah.
You're saying in the mannerism in which they speak, or my vocalisms?
Mannerism in which they speak.
Yes.
as well as your vocalisms, but like the dialogue itself as well.
Simply yes.
Well, there we go. I think that we are wrapped on sharing with each other. We can hang around for a few more, but I'll just do the sign off for the recording. Everybody be your family's bard. Do not turn to the right or to the left, and the Lord will be with you wherever you go. We'll see you next time in the trenches on Poets at War. So there we go. Yep. They do the salute and other weird things when I'm doing the send off. They've just decided
At
that's
least
the time to do the Macarena or whatever it is they're
At
doing.
least I didn't start doing the chicken dance.
There you go. Oh,
Nice.
goodness. Stopping recording.